Number D's. You can be anything you want. Here is the motivational poster special. You can be anything you want if you just believe. Sounds inspiring, until you remember that no amount of belief will let you become a dragon, or a 6'10" NBA star if you are 5'2" and allergic to basketballs. The truth is, you cannot be literally anything. What you can be is something within the realm of your abilities, opportunities, and a little bit of luck. Psychologists say this myth persists because it feeds our need for control. We want to believe effort alone decides our fate. Effort does matter, a lot, but genetics, timing, and circumstances play massive roles too. Pretending otherwise just sets people up for burnout and disappointment. Instead of you can be anything, the healthier truth is you can be more than you are now. It is not as catchy, but it is real. Focus on maximizing what you actually can do, not chasing impossible careers or identities. You may not be able to be anything, but you can absolutely be something extraordinary, and that is still worth chasing. Number 9. You only use 10% of your brain. Ah yes, the Hollywood classic. Apparently, if you could unlock the other 90% of your brain, you would instantly become a telepathic superhero. Sorry, but your brain is not hiding secret superpowers behind a locked door. Neuroscientists have scanned the living daylights out of brains, and guess what? Pretty much all of it lights up at different times. Sure, you are not using every neuron at once, but you do not use every muscle at once either. That does not mean they are useless. The 10% myth stuck because it flatters us. It suggests you have infinite hidden potential waiting to explode if only you buy the right self-help book or watch the right movie starring Bradley Cooper. In reality, your brain is already overworked, burning about 20% of your body's energy just to keep you alive. And thinking about pizza, the idea that 90% of it is just sitting idle is laughable. If anything, the problem is not underuse but overload. Your brain is busy, trust me. That is why you keep forgetting where you put your keys. Number 8. Success equals happiness. Here is a lie that fuels burnout like it is a national sport. We are taught that if we just climb high enough, earn enough, or achieve enough, happiness will be waiting at the top like a piñata full of joy. But the brain is tricky. Once we hit a goal, we immediately move the goalposts. Got the promotion? Now you want the corner office. Ran a marathon? Now you want to do it faster. Psychologists call it the arrival fallacy, the belief that happiness will come once you arrive. Spoiler, it rarely does. Happiness does not live at the finish line. It happens in the small, boring, daily stuff like laughing with a friend or not spilling coffee on your shirt. The pursuit of success is not evil, but tying your happiness to it is like tying your mood to the weather. Unstable, unpredictable, and slightly cruel. Success can give you pride and comfort, but it is not the same as joy. Confuse the two, and you will forever feel like life is a ladder with no top rung. Number 7. Nice guys finish last. You have heard this cliché so many times it sounds like a natural law. Apparently, if you are kind, patient, and respectful, you will forever lose to jerks in leather jackets. But reality is not a rom-com with the bad boy always winning. Studies in psychology and relationships show that kindness and emotional intelligence are actually super attractive. The catch is, nice guys finish last usually comes from people who confuse being nice with being spineless. Real kindness has boundaries. It says no, it stands up for itself, and it does not try to buy affection with favors. That is very different from the so-called nice guy, who sulks when his crush does not magically fall in love. Also, people forget the timeline. Jerks may win short-term attention, but long-term, stable, supportive partners are the ones people actually want to build lives with. So nice guys do not finish last. Fake nice guys who are secretly entitled do. If you are genuinely kind but also confident, you are not losing. You are just not playing the same shallow game. Number 6. Everything happens for a reason. This one is like the bumper sticker version of philosophy. Something awful happens and people chirp. Everything happens for a reason. Really? Tell that to the guy who dropped his burrito face down on the carpet. Sometimes things happen for no reason at all besides gravity being rude. The idea that the universe is a cosmic life coach carefully arranging your disasters into personal growth lessons is comforting, but false. Psychologists explain it as our brain's desperate need for meaning. We cannot stand chaos, so we slap a story onto random events. It makes life feel less like a slot machine and more like a movie. Sure, sometimes we grow from pain, but not because fate planned it, rather because we had no choice but to adapt. Pretending everything is destined is like saying your Wi-Fi cutting out was the universe teaching you patience. No, it was just bad service. The truth is, most things happen because of chance, human error, or dumb luck. Finding meaning is optional, not automatic. The universe is not a scriptwriter. It is more like a toddler with crayons. Number 5. Time heals all wounds. This is a comforting lie we hand out like free mints. Just wait long enough and every heartbreak, trauma, or tragedy will magically dissolve. Sadly, time is not a therapist. Time is just time. What heals wounds is what you do with it. Without action, time can just as easily fester pain. People can hold grudges for decades, nurture resentment like a bonsai tree, and they can stay stuck in grief that turns solid. Healing requires effort, whether that is therapy, forgiveness, or at least talking to a friend instead of bottling it up. Sure, time dulls the sharp edges, memories fade and emotions lose their bite, but scars do not vanish. Some become part of who you are. Pretending time alone will fix everything is like expecting your broken leg to heal, while still running marathons on it. In reality, you need rest, treatment, and maybe crutches. Time provides the space, but you provide the work. So when people say, give it time, what they really mean is stop bothering me. While I avoid saying something useful, time can help, but only if you do the heavy lifting. Number 4, love conquers all. Cue the dramatic music. As long as we have love, nothing else matters. Wrong. Love is not a magic shield against bills, depression, or the fact that your partner chews too loudly. Relationships implode all the time, even when love is still there. Why? Because love is an emotion, not a toolkit. It cannot fix communication gaps, mismatched values, or someone forgetting to do the dishes for the 10th time. Psychologists point out that lasting relationships need way more than passion. They need conflict resolution skills, respect, shared goals, and at least a little tolerance for each other's Netflix tastes. Love may start the fire, but it cannot keep the house warm on its own. People stay together because they learn to argue without destroying each other, compromise without resentment, and show up when it is inconvenient. Love can motivate you to try, sure, but it is not an automatic cure-all. Without the boring stuff like teamwork and patience, love is just a sparkler on the 4th of July, dazzling for 30 seconds before burning out. Basically, love conquers some things, but it is no match for dirty laundry. Number 3, money buys happiness. Here is the fairy tale. If you pile up enough cash, you will live in a permanent bubble bath of joy. Turns out, money only buys happiness up to a point. Studies put the cap somewhere around $75,000 a year in the US, and after that, extra dollars just buy slightly fancier versions of the same problems. You still get stress, anxiety, family drama, and your cat still pukes on the rug. Shura, money relieves misery. Poverty is brutal, and having enough cash to cover rent, food, and medical bills does wonders for mental health. But past the basics, more zeros in your bank account mostly buy distractions. You get a bigger television, but you still binge the same shows. You get a luxury car, but you still rage in traffic. Even lottery winners often slide back into unhappiness after the novelty fades. Psychologists call it hedonic adaptation, which basically means humans are professional buzzkill machines. We normalize everything, rich or poor. Your baseline mood comes crawling back like a stubborn screensaver. So no, money does not buy happiness. It just rents a temporary high, and the landlord always wants it back. Number 2, you can multitask. Here is the big lie your boss, your phone, and your inner overachiever keep selling you. You can multitask. Spoiler, you cannot. Your brain is basically a single-lane road pretending to be a 6-lane highway. When you text while watching television, while half listening to a podcast, you are not doing 3 things at once. You are just switching lanes really fast, like a distracted squirrel on roller skates. Neuroscientists call this task switching, and it burns through brain fuel faster than actually focusing. The illusion of productivity comes from the little dopamine hit you get each time you flip tasks, like mental junk food. That is why you feel busy but somehow accomplish nothing. It is the equivalent of eating a whole bag of chips and wondering why you are still hungry. But society rewards it. Employers brag about fast-paced multitaskers like it is a superpower. Reality check. Multitasking is just bad focus with a PR team. If your computer crashed every time you opened 3 tabs, you would throw it out the window. Yet your brain does the same thing, and you call it efficiency. Truth is, single tasking is boring, but it is the only thing that actually works. Number 1, the customer is always right. Ah yes, the battle cry of entitled shoppers everywhere. The customer is always right. Spoiler, they are not. Sometimes the customer is confused, misinformed, or just plain wrong. This slogan was invented in the early 1900s as a marketing gimmick, not a law of physics. Yet it stuck, turning retail workers into unpaid therapists for people who think returning a blender after 3 years of daily use is reasonable. From a psychology angle, this phrase works because it flatters ego. It gives people a sense of power and importance, which businesses hoped would keep them spending. But in reality, prioritizing customers above all else often backfires, leading to stressed employees and worse service overall. The truth? The customer is sometimes wrong, sometimes right, and often somewhere in between. Treating them like infallible gods only creates chaos. If the customer were always right, every restaurant would serve free food, every store would give refunds on broken iPhones, and every manager would need a therapist. So no, the customer is not always right. Sometimes, they are just loud. And that is all for today. I will be making more videos like this in the future. Make sure to subscribe so you do not miss out.